Andrea in Salt Lake City. You get any box wine out there?
Yeah, but you got to get it from a liquor store. It's expensive and a pain, so I usually just go with the cheap beer myself.
Yeah.
There you go.
What do you think of Hoda? Does she deserve? I mean, I don't know if she's never going to get the $25 million. I think, but does she deserve a little more? It's at the very least in this era of pay disparity and the year of women and everything else. It's a little embarrassing, isn't it, Andrea?
It's a little bit, but like Jonna said, I mean, she needs to get a better manager or whoever to negotiate for her. But I think this kind of proves that, if they can't pay her, I mean, and really, if NBC did pay her the same as Matt Lauer, I mean, take this to its logical conclusion. What if she turns out to be a sexual predator? I mean, NBC would really
yeah, you really don't know.
At that point.
7 or 8 Merlots. Women are capable of saying some pretty sousy things. You know what I mean?
It's true.
Oh, yeah, I have firsthand experience. The crazy stuff I say. Ugh. Really terrible.
That's really funny.
It happens. When you drink wine in the morning, things can get crazy.
Yeah.
Now, what
Next
about,
morning somewhere.
across the board, though? For instance, you've got, in Hollywood, Jessica Chastain is out there saying, we're changing the culture, we're going to change it, women are going to get paid, the same as men. But the thing is, let's take the women, Jessica Chastain is a star, right? She's huge. And she's fantastic. I saw her in the Bin Laden movie. I thought she was great. But she's not worth as much money as Mark Wahlberg. She just isn't.
No.
Mark Wahlberg makes people go to the movies more than she does, I think.
Okay.
I think he has more.
I think the
he
market
makes
should
more
dictate
money.
it.
He's more of a draw.
I think the market should dictate what people get paid. I don't
Just
think we
like
should-
ratings
Yeah.
dictate what
I don't think
you guys get paid.
Yeah, I don't think it should be gender based. I think that's silly. I do think they're getting over on Hoda a little bit because it's cheaper and it's easier. Matt Lauer wanted his money in singles, which I know took all day. He had to sit there and count them out. Going to flash dances again, huh, Matty? Take Al. Would you take Roker?
Well, if you talk about gender disparity, you have to add me in with, I bet you anything that, I bet you the disparity between, the disparity between me and Hoda is higher than the disparity between Hoda and Matt Lauer.
Let's go straight radio. I'm willing to bet Laura Ingraham out-earns you on the radio.
She out-earns me by, do the calculation.
Yeah.
I think she's already out-earned me by January 3rd.
For this break.
Yeah.
For this break.
She's got
And we're not over here demanding a raise because Tom's a man and he's No, you just play the game. They give her hazard pay for having me on our show, though. They're like, here you go.
Okay, Andrea, stay on the line because we are running through stories like crazy, okay?
Oh, fantastic.
And
Love
so maybe we can bring you in on this, but I want to move on to the next story. It kind of goes in line with Brian Stelter wanted to suspend the Twitter account of the president.
He's the worst.
Well, people also calling for YouTube to suspend people, specifically Logan Paul. Let me review this story for you.
I really hate to say this. I think there's someone hanging right there. I'm not even f***ing kidding. Do you see it? This isn't a f***ing joke, guys. That's a
It's not a joke, guys. I mean, it was actually a very serious thing, but every time I play the sound from it, he's a ridiculous young man, obviously, Logan Paul. But he was in it's called a suicide forest. Have you ever heard of the suicide forest?
No, not till today.
They have one in Cleveland for the Browns fans, yes. Never heard of that one.
Exactly. Well,
I
look,
think they were advertising it on Expedia deals last week.
that's how he got it. His whole entourage got in there. Well, listen,
One-way flights.
They went into the forest where a lot of people, it is where a number of Japanese citizens go to commit suicide. It's a famous place, just like you have places for, where gangsters go to dump bodies and stuff like that. This is a place that's known for its suicides. He went in there with his YouTube crew. This guy is known for more goofy stunts, but he went in there as kind of a spooky video, and what was that movie they made a couple of years ago in the woods?
Blair Witch?
Blair Witch, yeah. It was kind of a Blair Witch thing on YouTube. Here he is, though. Now, he shocked everyone because they showed an actual body that it was someone who I think he had committed suicide by hanging. They showed it on the channel. He got a lot of people saying you got to pull off the channel. YouTube, you have to act and remove this guy from the thing. Here he is apologizing, or where's his apology here?
None of us knew how to react or how to feel. I should have never posted the video. I should have put the cameras down and stopped recording what we were going through. There's a lot of things I should have done differently, but I didn't. And for that, From the bottom of my heart, I am sorry.
Okay, people are really
Logan.
coming out hard and criticizing this guy, even to the point of where Chrissy Teigen, who I don't think we talk about enough, Chrissy Teigen, she weighed in on the controversy. She called him a jerk, and she said that it was unacceptable what he did, etc. So she condemned him, but then she said, "Hey guys, but maybe we don't have to end his career. Maybe there's room for apologies, redemption." She was roundly attacked,
Of course.
for just suggesting that we should not banish this guy. So
Because that's how the outrage machine works. There's only the death penalty. We don't have any level of charge. There's no sentencing guideline. If you upset us, you just go away and never cease to exist.
Yeah.
I think this is so disgusting. I think the pile-on to this kid is so much more disgusting than anything he's doing. Because, like, the truth is, for the people doing it, it's a branding exercise. They want to seem smarter and better, and that's what social media is for most people. They want to say, I'm on the smart side. I'm on the compassionate side. But at the end of the day, we're going to run this guy off of YouTube that we never met. We don't know anything about. He did an idiotic thing. We can all agree. But screaming at him for likes on Twitter doesn't do anything on behalf of the aggrieved class, which is the people dying in a forest in Japan.
Yeah.
Like, this will come and go with him losing a YouTube channel, but it's not going to have any impact on people hanging themselves in the woods. So if we're trying to be compassionate and
listen,
change makers...
some defenders, and he said, he said to his supporters, "Don't defend me. If you are defending me, stop." But the thing is, a lot of people came out and said, this is just part of the normal suicide awareness. You know, that there were people who said that this is the kind of thing that should be shared. For instance, Jonna, during Hurricane Katrina, I saw dead bodies. They showed dead people on TV. That was journalism.
One floated right by Brian
We
Williams.
saw people
yes,
jumping
he
out
claimed.
of the Twin Towers on 9/11.
I
You
didn't
just got
even.
that
Yeah,
one, yeah.
but yes, and you saw. So journalists do show this. I'm not saying he's a journalist, but I'm saying like at some point you have to say like, well, this is a matter of taste, right? It's like it wasn't cool, but
No, here's the problem, though.
Okay.
He was not going into the, quote, suicide forest to illuminate the problems with committing suicide and shine a light on that.
Give me
He
that.
went in there to get publicity for himself, and then he lied about being apologetic for it because he went into the suicide forest.
Yeah.
And he happened to, that's where he went. It wasn't like, oh, I got here by accident, I'm so sorry, I don't know. He went there on purpose, showed an unfortunate situation, and now he wants to apologize, and he's lying. That's why he's being piled on.
I don't know. He was getting piled on from word one. But here's the thing. I disagree with that because he was getting piled on right away. But what I do think this is the bigger problem is if you really hate this video and you think it's such an offense and affront to society, the only reason people even know it exists is because they're talking about it. Like, none of the people trashing him nobody was forced to watch the video. You don't have to watch the video.
Yeah.
You can hate the video. You don't have to watch the video. But the fact that they're taking the time to watch it and trash this guy for their own little pound of cyber currency that they accumulate online for being a virtuous person is actually bringing more attention to this thing you purport to hate.
Andrea,
I think it's
That's
stupid.
the silver lining.
Andrea, he lost his Disney Channel show about 6 months ago. Isn't that enough?
I would say so. I lost my Disney Channel show a couple years back. It was the most painful.
Yeah, that whole background check's a killer, ain't it, Andrea?
Oh, you're telling me. Yeah. Lost the Disney show, kept my clearance. That was weird. But anyway, I think it's kind of like Anthony Cumia pointed out when Kathy Griffin went through her thing. If you're apologizing that soon, it's not because you're sorry. It's because you're sorry you got caught.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yes, and
Yeah,
I
that's
think,
all of it.
but at some point, I feel like this is going to happen more and more, and in the future, you remember President Obama, he did an interview with the woman who got in the bathtub with grape juice and ping pong balls or whatever the heck it was. I don't know what she did with it. There was some, and people said, what's happening to our society when the president is hanging out with YouTube stars? Well, the thing is, I wouldn't be surprised if this guy Logan Paul does interview the next president before the election.
It could happen.
So, then we're going to have to call him a journalist. And then when he shows people in the suicide forest, we're going to say, like, well, that's the modern journalism. It's all changing.
Well, that's the thing. It's such a fluid situation that people don't realize. I mean, his footprint is massive. Like, they get tens of millions of hits on their videos.
He's a multimillionaire.
Yeah.
He's very successful.
There are 1,000 people like him on YouTube that none of us in this room have heard of that post videos that get 50 million hits a video.
Yeah.
That are making crazy
And he works
money.
hard for it. He actually goes into forests. A lot of people are YouTube stars.
Goes
All
to
they
the
do
suicide forest.
all
a lot
they
of
do is
people
play
cheat.
video games.
They go right to the Foxconn plant where the Apple
no.
people are jumping. They don't go all the way into the woods. They could have got ticks.
They film themselves they playing video games, and they have 10 million
Yeah, I
followers.
don't get it.
That's
So,
bananas to me.
Let's take a break. Thanks for the call, Andrea.